Hi, it's Carly McAvoy. I want to talk about applications of ratio and specifically a problem that you might see in your homework that has to do with comparing blue pens to black pens. And the important thing here is at the top they tell you the ratio. There's 5 blue pens for every 8 black pens or whatever numbers that you're given. And the important thing here is to complete this whole problem is to find these first 4 ratios. And once you find those, the blue to black, black to blue, blue to total, black to total, you can use those to solve every other problem in here using a proportion. Or you can use the method shown. I'll show you 2 of these problems and use both a proportion and then also the method that they show. And I think you'll see it's just a matter of plugging numbers in. But first I'm going to show you what you can set up just knowing that there's 5 blue pens for every 8 black pens. There's 4 ratios you could get from that. We could say blue to black is 5 to 8, or black to blue is 8 to 5, or blue to total is 5 to 13. If you add 5 and 8, you get 13. Or black to total is 8 to 13, meaning every 13 pens he buys, 5 are blue and 8 are black. So those are the 4 ratios we could get to set up to kind of use what we want to do on the rest of these. So in this first one, it says if he bought 32 pens, 32 black pens, how many blue pens did he buy? And if you look at that, whether you went black to blue or blue to black over here, doesn't really matter. What matters is if you have black on top, you should have 8. And if you have blue on the bottom, you should have 5. If you would use it the other way around, you could get the same answer. You just want to make sure you have, when you're talking about blue, you have 5. When you're talking about black, you have 8. And so once you set this up, we have 8 black pens for 5. That's the basic ratio that we know. How many blue pens did he buy? Well, we know he bought 32 black pens. So for black, we have 32, and we don't know how many blue. And to solve that, you're going to take 32 times 5 and get 160. And over here, 8 times x is 8x. Divide both sides by 8, and 160 divided by 8 is 20. Which means he bought 20 blue pens. And if you think about it this way, 8 times 4 is 32, so 5 times 4 would be 20. That should make sense to you. Or if you want to do it the way that they do it, they're saying take your blue to black total and multiply it by the black total. So blue to black was 5 to 8, and then the total for 32 was 32, and if you take 8 into 32, you get 4, and 4 times 5 is 20. So that's the way that they show it up here to do it, which is a totally great way, or you can just use a proportion. That's a fine way too, whichever way you think makes sense to you. And I'll do one of these as well where he buys a total of 117 pens. So suppose they bought a total of 117 pens. How many black pens did he buy? Well, then we're looking at the black to the total. So we know there was 8 black for every 13 pens. That's the total number. And so if that total changes to 117, then how many black pens did he buy? And to solve that, we would say 117 times 8 is 936. And 13 times n is 13n, and divide both sides by 13, and you get n equals 17. Or 72, sorry, I don't know where I'm saying 17. If you wanted to do it the way that they show it up here, then you would do black to total times the total purchased. This black to total was 8 to 13 times the total purchased was 117, and 13 goes into 117 9 times, and 9 times 8 is 72. So that's a totally fine way to do it as well. All right, have a fantastic day, and we'll see you next time.